Thank you for tuning in. We have details of these and other stories coming your way in the next 20 minutes if you stay with us. The bulletin is also live on DSTV channel 279. Get interactive with us across all social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Welcome to the program. We'll take the details now. The National Security Minister, Albert Kandapa, would not disclose the content of an interim report from the National Security regarding the leaked audio tape at Center for the alleged plot to oust the IGP. The minister told the committee that the document cannot be released because it remains classified.
Key witnesses were scheduled for re-examination due to recent developments. The National Security Minister Albert Kandapa and Chief Bugiri Nabu provided answers to questions from committee members.
The first person we called upon was the Minister for National Security, Honorable Kandapa. And the reason why we called him is that Superintendent Asari had confessed that he appeared before the National Investigation Bureau. So we will not do a shoddy job by not calling the minister who has superintendence over that bureau. So he came to say, indeed and in fact, they've done a lot of work on it. It's an interim report, but he will not share it with us because it's a national security document. It's not declassified. But because of the nature of what is happening, we want to do a thorough job and end quickly. The nation cannot be chewing on this matter for too long because it has a bearing on the security of this country. The head of internal security, if you care to know, the Inspector General of Police, is part of what we are trying to interrogate, and we should end it as quickly as possible. The case has been adjourned to the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th of October, without fail.
Meanwhile, security consultant and analyst Richard Kumado says the committee's invitation to the National Security Minister is unnecessary. According to him, the appearance of the 4 individuals identified on the leaked audio tape, along with the Inspector General of Police, who was the primary subject of the tape, should mark the conclusion of the committee's work, and there should be no further involvement from the National Security Minister.
Probably he would have given them just a few highlights without disclosing the actual details of the report. And I don't think Ministry of National Security, remember there's a ministry and there's a secretariat. I don't think even the secretariat or the Ministry of National Security have the full reports because the BNI is a secret society and their operations are different. And they don't just disclose everything to one particular person in that regard. I was wondering who informed the committee that they should call the Minister for National Security. I think going forward, they should just concentrate and do their work and leave the rest for the other institutions to carry out what relates to their work. Now, what they need to do is a simple thing. They ask them to authenticate the tape. The tape is in the domain of the public. And the day Bugiri Nabu appears there and said, I did a recording. It was done in my office. Everything on the tape is true. I gave the tape to the president. I think the committee has finished their work. What they are now doing right now is to give references to people whose names have been mentioned on the tape to hear their story. Fortunately for us, Dampare, whose many of the things that were said were against him and his person and his role as an IGP, made a public hearing yesterday. And that should end their work. They should hurry up and wrap it up and let people go back to work. Whatever it is that the BNI will want to do with the report, they have done it. And the state, who has the power to remove the IGP or to keep him there, have this report in their domain for a very long time. So you don't need a parliamentary probe to come up with any report that will have any reference on what the BNI does or what the police do in this particular case.
The Deputy Ranking Member on Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee and Deputy Chair of the committee probing the leaked audio tape, James Agalga, has expressed support for the National Security Minister's decision not to release the investigative report from the department.
That the minister's decision to withhold the report and not furnish the committee with a copy is right, because we are talking about the intelligence community here, and they did their own internal investigations and are saying that they have submitted a preliminary report to the minister in a classified way. You can't demand that what is classified be submitted to Parliament. If we desire to still have what is a preliminary report, then we may have to invoke the appropriate procedure under the Constitution by proceeding to the Supreme Court to get the Supreme Court to make an order authorizing them to furnish us with the details of the report, notwithstanding the fact that it is classified. I'm not sure Parliament has the appetite to do that, because what you must remember is that we are investigating the matter anyway. So what is it that the NIB managed to unravel that we cannot unravel through our own investigations? Remember that we took the decision that it was appropriate for Parliament to investigate the matter and not to allow the executive or its agencies to carry out this investigation. So I think that the committee found the minister's responses satisfactory, and we do not intend to proceed to make further demands for any investigative report from the minister's outfit.
Away from security, let's focus on politics now. NPP presidential aspirant Kennedy Japong has picked #1 after balloting for the party's November 4 presidential primaries. The Ascent Central MP also picked #1 during the Super Delegate Conference on August 26. Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia picked the second slot, while former Agriculture Minister Dr. Wuswe Yakoto picked the third slot. A former MP for Mampong, Francis Adenimo, picked the fourth slot. The NPP is expected to hold its National Delegate Conference on November 4 to elect a flag bearer for the 2024 general elections. After the balloting, Kennedy Japong charged delegates not to be swayed by money and intimidation.
Well, it's clear indication that I'm what God has chosen to lead MPP. If you believe in the Bible, you know, everywhere you go, Kennedy Japong is #1. It's a clear indication that I should be given a chance to lead this country. So I'm pleading with delegates that the signs are clearly on the wall, that if you vote for Kennedy Japong, you definitely lead this country and break the 8. My expectation is to win, because I'm a grassroots man. I have been fighting for the ordinary people ever since. So I know for sure, no matter the amount of money they're going to pay and the intimidation, they'll use their conscience and vote for their man, because they don't think of today, but they think of tomorrow. So I have confidence in the delegates that no matter the amount they give them, they have the brains to choose the best candidate, a man who actually understands the plight of the polling station executives or the ordinary people in this country. So I have confidence that come November 4th, with all the intimidation and whatever, the delegates are going to speak. It's up to all of us, the contestants and their supporters, to abide by what has been put in place by the elections committee. So I'm satisfied with it, but individuals as we are, you know, some may choose not to go by the rules and take the law into their own hands. That is the challenge we have now. But I'm advising all those who want to take the law into their own hands is that we need unity in the party.
Away from the NPP Delegates Conference, ranking member of the Agri Committee of Parliament, Eric Opoko, insists government is shortchanging farmers and the latest cocoa price increment. Speaking at the Cocoa Farmers Durbar at the Diesoba in the Ahafo region, the Member of Parliament for Esunafo South noted government should have made a better offer following the high price of the commodity on the world market.
Almost 25 million. What
they gave to you, the farmers, was 1,308. So for every bag of cocoa, President Akufo-Addo has deprived you of about 1,173 cedis. Now, the quality cocoa with premium was also not added. When you add the premium, it means government is benefiting more than 1,500 from your bag. The minority leader, Kessel Atuforsen, also criticized the NPP government for being insensitive and lacking interest in cocoa farmers.
25 million cedis.
The NDC government would have increased the price to 2,800 cedis. This government is insensitive. The next NDC government will increase the bag of cocoa for you, be rest assured.
But the ruling New Patriotic Party has hit back at the NDC, accusing the opposition of spreading misinformation and fact-twisting. Director of Communications of the NPP, Richard Ahiagba, insists government has not shortchanged farmers as claimed by the NDC.
We're here because the NDC is either intentionally, because they have been in government before, so I won't say they don't know, they know, but intentionally for mischief purposes, confusing spot price with forward price that we have achieved. They are not the same. And so this is what the drama the NDC want to create in Ahafo. And we want to plead with you that the facts are clear. Those who care about Ghanaian farmers is clear. This government, this MPP government, led by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, thought about Ghanaians and generated that additional income for them, a free $400 living income differential. This government, for many years, the dream in the Cocoa Board Act to create a pension scheme for cocoa farmers. This government is realizing that dream. That's the government that thinks about Ghanaians. This government that introduced cocoa rehabilitation program to ensure that cocoa trees that yielded 10, 20 pods per tree can now yield 100, 300 and more. That's the government that thinks about people. So we are not just getting Ghanaians better market prices, but we are investing in ways that their yields will go up. That's a comprehensive approach. That is not gather in Ahafo, in a church room, and do propaganda. The irony of it, in a church room, misinforming people.
Meanwhile, the president of the Cocoa National Farmers Association, Stevenson Anani Boateng, has stated that the recent increases in the cocoa producer price will not deter the smuggling of the commodity to neighboring countries. He emphasized that the new price, which has already become a political issue, so falls short of the pricing in neighboring countries in the sub-region.
Before, their price, which was approved by the government, was 1,450. And if government is increasing our cocoa and it goes up to 1,308, we are nowhere, because people will do it, and they will do it just because the price compared to the previous year is not even up to their level. And for that matter, this practice will never stop. You know what? We cocoa farmers nowadays don't trust any politician, because they have frustrated us for a long time. Our worry is that they use we cocoa farmers for votes. They will give a lot of promises, but at the end of the day, they do nothing. Let us consider PNDC Law 81, which is Cocoa Board Law. It mandated we cocoa farmers not to sell our product to anybody apart from government. It's the same constitution that mandated Cocoa Board to do pension scheme and our welfare for us. But for 37, 40 years now, nothing has been done about it. Why is it that cocoa has been exempted, only sell by government? Ghana National Cocoa Farmers Association started 2016. We have cried over this pension scheme to date. You see, when Nana Addo came to power, he has given us a lot of promises, but now it's the same.
Away from cocoa pricing, a recent nationwide survey commissioned by the government has revealed more than 91% of youth in the country are enthusiastic about pursuing careers in the agriculture, technical and vocational advert sectors, provided they receive the necessary training and skills. The findings of the report ruled out existing impressions that youth in the country are averse to jobs in the advert sectors. This report has the rest of the story.
The report further revealed that 87% of the young participants showed interest in policy discussions related to agriculture, technical and vocational ATVET. The survey was commissioned as part of the Ghana Grows program. It was conducted by Denso Associates and collected responses from over 1,100 randomly selected individuals aged 15 to 35 across all 16 regions of Ghana.
We looked at the knowledge, attitudes, and perceptions of young people about the agri sector. And the knowledge part of it showed that they had good knowledge about the sector. However, they had very limited knowledge around the programs and opportunities in the sector. And then when you look at their attitude, they have a very positive attitude towards the sector. They are interested in engaging in it. It's something that we can leverage.
The Ghana Grows program, which is a collaborative effort between the MasterCard Foundation, the Springboard Roadshow Foundation and Limehouse, initiated this research to combat negative perceptions about agriculture and ATVET and address youth unemployment in Ghana.
Considering it is obvious that the demand for food will go up to the extent that we can create jobs, not just in the planting or direct farming, but in the distribution, processing, research, and several other jobs in the value chain. We can create opportunity for the young people.
Let's do international news now. More than 5,300 people have died after floods in the Libyan city of Derna. A local minister said the sea is constantly dumping dozens of bodies. The floods burst 2 dams in the eastern coastal city and swept away homes. Officials have put the number of missing at 10,000. The UN aid agency OCHA said the figure was at least 5,000. The UN Migration Agency and the International Organization for Migration said at least 30,000 people had died and had been displaced in Derna. Libya is divided between 2 rival governments, with one operating from Tripoli and another one in the east. Rescue operations are complicated by deep political fractures in the country of 7 million people that has lacked a strong central government and been at war on and off since a NATO-backed uprising that toppled Muammar Gaddafi in 2011.